All right, so food journal. Today I'm gonna take you through everything that I put in my body from start to finish. So I went for a walk this morning to wake the brain up, and to a local coffee shop to grab a cold brew. I wanted a nitro brew, but they happen to be out of it. All right, so the coffee's actually pretty good by itself. It's really smooth. I like the cold brew because it doesn't have that bitterness or the acidity. So I got some ice in here, but why not make it taste a little better? Boop. All right, now let's make it taste good. I talk about these stevias a lot because it's just a way to sweeten things up and make you enjoy them a lot more, and it doesn't have an effect on your blood sugar, so you can keep your body in that fat burning mode. NutriBullet. I should do an infomercial for these things. I probably use this thing 3 times a day for sauces, soups, dressings, smoothies. Things legit, super easy to clean up. All that stuff all together in one easy meal. But that's just a super easy way. I find this more enjoyable than sipping on the coffee. I'm not a huge coffee person, especially warm coffee, but this kind of tastes like ice cream. It's good. You can even eat it with a spoon if you wanted to. See? It's like coffee ice cream. So now it's on to the first meal. I 90% of the time start myself out with this. So it's just a green smoothie, more fat-based and protein-based with good greens, kind of like a insurance perspective. NutriBullet, game changer for cleanup purposes. I can just throw everything in here, blend it, and it's good to go. So it's gonna start with liquid base. I like to have, you know, some milk, coconut base right here. So let's do, and you don't need to measure it out, give or take a little bit is fine. We'll go a little more than a half cup. I was just sweating a bit out. I took a break after I got home to run out and get some sun, soak up some vitamin D. Today is a light day, so I'm gonna eat fairly lower carbohydrate overall compared to typical. But I got outside to get some sun, just to sweat for like 15-20 minutes. So not really an intense workout, more just, you know, some jump roping, a little bit of running endurance. Okay, so I got tea right there. So that's typically a blend of like green tea, yerba mate, turmeric tea. I should always have a batch to cook with, so I'm gonna use that as part of the base here. It tastes good, adding that consistency and texture. So next, let's add some goodies into it. Greens. On a daily basis, I get some sort of greens. This is really high in spirulina, chlorella, like wheatgrass type of stuff that's gonna help alkalize the body. It's nice for the first thing in the meal. It's really easy to digest. Plus, a lot of those antioxidants and things that you're gonna get from, you know, vitamins and minerals, think of the stuff you get in vegetables, is absorbed a lot better first thing on an empty stomach, so there's nothing else competing with it. It doesn't taste bad, it doesn't taste great. I'm gonna sweeten it up a little bit with flavored stevia. The reason I use an avocado is because it whips it up and gives a nice ice cream-like texture. The antioxidants, awesome source of fiber, but overall the enjoyment of this. It's a good alternative to a banana with a lot less sugar, and it tastes a lot better than you would think. You don't really taste the avocado because it's gonna get sweetened up. So I typically will just use like half of half, or 2 heaping teaspoons if you want to think about it that way. And it depends. If I know I'm not gonna eat for another couple hours, I may have, you know, a full half. I don't really obsess about it. And then greens, if you measured it out, I'd say like a tablespoon. Okay, so about a tablespoon here. Ingredients in here. Again, you can use whatever you want. I tell people having a high-powered blender is so much better for making like ice cream-like textures and consistencies, plus the cleanup thing. You can use your giant powerful blenders, but you gotta just get dirty. This is so easy to clean up. Shake water, dry it off, set it. So I mean, I use this thing multiple times per day. Look at that texture. Consistency on point. So, I mean, look at that. It's nice and thick. It's really good. So, I try to avoid any sugars or a big spike early in the day, and essentially just save up those carbohydrates for later in the day. I find that it works best for me. I've read research that says that when you start eating carbohydrates earlier in the day, especially things that reach your bloodstream early, it's gonna basically trigger that norepinephrine feeling in the brain, which feels great. Or I guess you say a serotonin effect, and then when that goes down, the norepinephrine comes up, and your body's gonna seek that reward center again, and it typically starts a cycle. So it's rare that people eat carbohydrates and not want more within like 3 hours or so, 3 to 4 hours. I like to not let that be a big distraction. Energy-wise, it's dense with that healthy fat, and I like my body to be more fat adapted. And from a fat burning perspective, again, I'm trying to rely on using my fat as energy rather than trying to just play the whole calorie game and obsess with counting calories. Yes, that works, but it's obsessive and it's not realistic for most people. I'd rather just kind of go with the flow and what works and what's realistic for people to actually do. Also from a health perspective, you know, you can count calories and you're going to be able to measure that fat burn from a body composition, but again, I'm eating for overall health, inside and outside, for longevity purposes. And again, I try to limit that blood sugar spike as much as possible, even if it's just for the focus energy benefit. So that's my preference. I find that it works best, and it's easier for me to delay and wait till the end of the day to get carbohydrates. I'm not afraid with eating those at nighttime, sleeping them off, and then I have all that energy used the following day. All right, so now we got meal 2. I guess you could call this lunch. This will vary depending on the day and what I got going on. Again, I'm not really doing any heavy working out today, so I'm just eating more just to kind of maintain fuel. I naturally kind of carb cycle to where I just have a few days per week that are consecutive that are a little lower carbohydrate, and then another day that's a little bit higher. And those are all good quality carbohydrates for like sweet potatoes, or sometimes I'll use oats or rice or so on. But today's a little bit lower. Not to be crazy, but I do try to incorporate broth on a daily basis because it makes me feel a lot better. So I'm going to just sip this and do something really easy today. This isn't the most appetizing meal, but I've been experimenting with these wild sardines, which sounds crazy, but one of the best sources of vitamin D. I think you get a little bit of zinc, a ton of omega-3s, which is probably the coolest thing, is that it's just a good source that isn't as exposed to as many toxins. Then also a really good source of selenium, which supports testosterone. Probably just eat them, yeah I am, just straight out of can. And I swear they're not that bad. Cool thing about these, my older brother I always thought was big for his age, and I was kind of a late bloomer, and he was obsessed with these. And I know he ate like oysters and all this, but especially sardines. He would eat these on crackers all the time, and he wasn't as picky or particular as I was as a kid, so I think this might have had something to do with it. But it's just a great source of protein. Wild Planet is all organic and responsibly sourced, so good stuff. You can either eat them plain, which honestly, they're not that bad. These are lemon and olive oil. And I'd almost just rather consume them straight rather than throwing them in a salad or corrupting any other sort of dish. Again, I'm not really eating these to indulge like I do in a lot of my meals, but it's great for it. And then this is convenient, natural probiotics. Talking a lot about gut health here. And this is just fermented, cultured vegetables, but think of like what sauerkraut is. This is a raw form. It's got smoked jalapeno, cabbage, radish, carrots. Super good stuff. So I might have a couple teaspoons of that to go along with it. Okay, so we got essentially meal 3. So we're going for a solid meal. Let's see what we got in the fridge right here, throw together. Improv, that's how my mind works. I usually have an idea of something I'm gonna throw together, but usually make it pretty easy for myself. So it looks like I do have prepped chicken. So from the crock pot, slow cook. So first off, got pan. An easy pan like this is like the new microwave. Cleans up super easy. Gonna put it on like medium high heat. Let that preheat while we're chopping stuff off to make the job. And there we go. So what's nice about this dish is it's satisfying, it's got a lot of texture, it's really low in carbohydrates, yet, and cleanup is gonna be super easy. So since I used liquid, I can clean this off just by rinsing some water, patting it dry. And then I chopped up everything on the cutting board over here. So that's also gonna clean up super quick. So just by using a couple simple tools, you can save yourself a lot of time. And so we'll rinse it off. So, as you can see, this is a pretty common meal for mine. I like to just mix all the flavors together. That way I have texture and I don't feel like I'm missing a starch or like a carbohydrate main source. Again, there's good carbohydrates in here from the vegetables, but this is a pretty common meal and it's delicious. And you can see just by having a few things on hand, oh, you can taste the peanut butter taste, it's just fantastic. Just by having a few things on hand, these meals come together in under 5 minutes. So prep some stuff up. You don't have to have crazy prep night for hours, but just make stuff in between your downtime so you can throw together meals like this. And it'll take away that stress of wondering what what you're gonna eat. And another reminder, don't eat bland dishes that you don't like. It's not all about willpower and trying to, see how much you can do without. I always talk about flavor insurance. Like I said, I make my own hot sauces. I remix a lot of the ones that I buy just by adding in like citrus juice. But always have sauces that you can throw in there that you can use generously. And spices, same thing, lemon and lime juice. You can pretty much use an unlimited amount of that. Broth, nut butters. Find things so that you love the dish, and that way you'll never ever feel like you're on a diet. And you'll be able to sustain that style and be able to eat all the time. And then, like me, I feel like I prefer making my own food a lot of times than going out and getting food. Hope that makes sense. But it takes some experimentation and having fun with it. So again, just pick a sauce or two or a flavor that you like, and then slowly add more things into it so you find your preference. All right, picked up some goodies. I probably stop at the market almost on a daily basis whenever I drive by. But stopped by Natural Grocers, picked up some goods. Coconut milk I always drink. I mix it up, but always go unsweetened coconut hemp milk. Nutritional yeast, tastes like cheese, high in B vitamins. Nice and savory. I throw in stir-fried dishes, use it for sauces. This is totally random. A couple hard-boiled eggs, figured if I want a snack. More free-range eggs to add into things. I don't eat a lot of eggs, maybe once or twice per week. So just to kind of have for convenience. Really cool tea. So like I said, I always keep a batch of tea in the fridge. This is a caffeine-free, metabolism-boosting tea that's got rooibos, cinnamon, cordyceps, holy basil, chili pepper. So kind of like a cinnamon type of taste. Good to put into recipes for smoothies, boost metabolism. Good moisturizer, apple cider vinegar, good to upgrade their sauces and add into dressings and so on. And it's good. And I think I know what this is in the mail. Oh yeah, jackpot. Best stevia. This is worth ordering. So caramel cream stevia from Cal brand. I love it. Tastes like caramel. Really nice natural taste. So I put this in smoothies. When I make waffles, dressings, syrups, things like that. Stuff tastes awesome. Dinner time. Step one, number one ingredient, music. Hit up that Spotify. Find yourself a playlist. We got baby making, food making music. And then turn it up. So here we go. Final meal. Shredded chicken coming out of that crock pot with arugula, cauliflower rice. Perfect. Sweet potatoes, herb, turn for the pan. Everything here, about 15 minutes. Super delicious, full of flavor. And then that takes care of the whole day. So about 4 meals, hit close to that 150, 160 grams of protein, good carbs at the end of the day, loaded vitamins, minerals. Feel super satisfied because I got a ton of fiber and volume from all those vegetables.